Welcome back, class, to another live stream of Animation Collab. Where what? Okay, that intro's already fucked up. Sorry for swearing. Yeah, we've had a lot of technical difficulties, and apparently doing my intro correctly is one of them now. Okay, let's start over. Welcome back to another live stream of Animation Collab, where I experiment with new techniques in my animation laboratory in collaboration with other content creators. We are continuing the collaboration with Andy. He's a cybersecurity. Wow, I can't even talk smoothly anymore. Too many interruptions today. Andy is a cybersecurity expert who creates hacking related and cybersecurity related videos for his YouTube channel, and I'm helping him out with one of his upcoming videos where I animate to his voiceover. We've been working on this collaboration for the past few streams, and if you missed those, you can catch them on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to continue animating the template composition. And if you'd like to support me, you can always hit the subscribe button. You can like this video, you can share it with your friends. And as always, you can leave comments below if you have any questions, if you have any comments, requests, anything like that, leave those in the comments. If you'd like to support me on a monetary basis, I also do have a Patreon, I have a Ko-fi, and I have a Buy Me a Coffee. So you can either become a member of the classroom on Patreon, or you can just send me a one-off donation on Ko-fi or Buy Me a Coffee. And the links will also be in the video description. Okay, I think I got everything out, and this time the mic is actually working. We have a few dropped frames. I'm hoping that this will not impact the video. I hope anybody who was here before and saw me attempt to stream multiple times unsuccessfully was able to return and is now successfully watching the stream. I'm sorry if you thought the stream was not happening, because I did mention it on my Instagram that I'm trying to fix it. Then I said the stream was off, and then I said the stream was back on. So I hope that you got the final message that the stream is actually back on, because I did manage to fix it to a certain extent. I'm still having a little bit of connectivity issue, and I can see that I have some dropped frames going on. The internet seems to be a little bit iffy today. So let's just hope it works. Do let me know in the chat if there are any lagging issues or any other issues, and I'll try to fix them at least by the next stream. And for today, we'll just try it out. Try if everything works. I think some people have left us since my previous attempt in fixing the stream. That's a shame. I hope you come back. Please come back. Yeah, okay. So what we're doing today is I need to fix my setup slightly before I jump into After Effects, so this doesn't look so odd for you. And I hope this should now work. Drag this down a little bit. Yeah. Let's hope everything goes as smoothly as possible now from now on. Okay, so we have this animation, and as I explained in the last stream, oops, sorry about that, just hit the mic. Oh great, I just realized that we have extreme dropped frames now, and there might be a massive lag happening, so I'm sorry about that. I'm just gonna continue, and hopefully it's not going to be too bad. If it is, I'll see if the recording is as bad as the stream, and I'll just re-upload the recording of this stream. Okay, so we have our code here. I'll go into the Zoom. So this is the code, and basically what this does is it denominates a start and end point for different scenes in this animation that are going to be called at different times throughout the animation. So they're going to be sitting in at different points, at different scene points. And currently I can only ever call one scene at a time. So what I want to do is just duplicate this template composition and then call whichever one of these animations I want. And the way this works is it looks for the start marker variable, and then it plays from this second to that second. And we're starting at 60 seconds. I think that's correct. I still keep forgetting if it's 60 seconds or minutes. It has to be 60 seconds. Yeah, because we are starting at 1 hour of the timeline, and before this 1 hour there's 1 minute leeway. So my composition actually starts at, sorry, I was showing you something that you couldn't see. My composition actually starts at 59 minutes, and so that at 1 hour it's kind of like a 0.0 where I can then continue animating from. So I have this 1 minute, and this is 60 seconds in that case. You know, this 1 minute before we arrive at 1 hour, and then the animation actually starts playing. The reason for that is, I have explained this a few times, but if you weren't around at that point, I'll just summarize very quickly. If I have multiple layers here and I push them back, because I definitely want to start my animation and also my render at 0, so that if I want to go back, if I'm watching this back, and the replay of a video always starts at 0, right? And then counts onwards. So if I want to then make edits and look at, oh, there's a mistake at 1 minute 30 seconds, for example, I can go back into my After Effects file, find 1 minute 30 seconds, and then make the changes instead of having to calculate, oh, I started at 5 seconds, so it's 1 minute and 25 seconds, and you know, that's super complicated. So I always want to start my work area at 0. But if I start at actual 0, so 0, 0, not 1 hour 0, I start losing sight of layers that I push backwards. So that's why I give myself this 1 minute leeway. It could be less, but 1 minute is just a nice round number. And then I can see everything that happens before my point 0, but I'm starting at 1 hour, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, 0 frames. It's still a kind of, you know, point 0 is what I call it. So that's why I do that. Instead of starting at 0, I start with 1 hour. And yeah, just so if you're wondering about these values, that's why they all start at 60, because they're actually starting at 1 minute into the timeline. Yeah, so I have these values for each of the scenes, and I'm telling it, okay, this scene starts at 0 or 1 minute and goes until 3 seconds. And then this one starts at 3 seconds and then goes until that number. Actually, these are in and out points. But so that I can, this animation, so I can play it backwards, basically. And then when I call the these variables that I've set up with this linear function, it will then play back the seconds of this timeline in the manner I've set it up. In the case of the animation in, which is the build-up of this, yeah, I need to call it first. So animation 01 in, it then plays this, and it always takes the markers into account as well. If I was to move this start marker or this end marker, it will then play, obviously you can't see anything because the layer is cut off here, but you can see it's already in play because it's starting at that start marker. So it takes the markers into account, and it also takes the time in the composition into account. So that's how all of this works. And then obviously I set up one for the out animation so that eventually when I want this to disappear, I can just call the out animation is essentially this one backwards. And I've used ease for these two instead of linear because it was causing me some weird issue when I was playing it back. Like some of the graphics weren't lining up. I don't know what that was about, but I could fix it with just adding a ease to that linear function. So that's how I fix that, and this is how this works. And yep, the 5, there is a start and an end. And now we're just going to continue animating this. So basically where we are now, it's this animation here. And I think what I'm going to do is delete these keyframes. They were useful earlier, but I think they're not useful anymore. Well, I'll leave them there until I get there, until I need the space. So what we need now is I need the storyboard. So I'm going to open that. Storyboard, it's this one. Okay. Let's put that here, and I will also... Yes, okay, so I will also make this, fill this screen so we can see everything nicely, and let's get these up. Okay, so then I think we finished. Oh, right, okay, so we didn't actually finish this part yet, so I need to actually finish the whole animation of this, so that's what we're gonna do. So we're still working within this 5th scene where we're basically animating all of these things on. So first this happens, then that happens, and that's going to continue happening. Now I just need to see. If you've just joined the stream, do say hello in the chat. I love hearing who's arrived, who's there. And now this is a little bit tricky. Whenever I start an animation on a different day, and it has like a certain sequence, like let's say the keyframe distance is the same and it repeats across a few of the layers, and then the what should I call it? The sequencing duration is the same, and it continues across a few layers. Like here, I'm starting at this one, and it's like 20 frames apart, and then the blue one starts, and then this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames apart. It's like I have to remind myself, like what the durations are that I've said a few days ago, and I have to like go back into that thinking. That's always a little bit difficult, but it's okay. So now I think what I'm supposed to do is, okay, they start, oh god, this one starts and that one starts. Okay, then this one starts, then that one starts. I'm a little bit confused as to... So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why is it 7? Let's just make this 10, because I think this is just irritating. It's going to be too irritating trying to figure out the distance of all of this. So let's say this happens, then this happens. But this, I feel like... Oh, okay. There are a few more. Ah, yeah, okay, okay. There are a few more layers here that should be happening. I think this one and that one should be happening at the same time. So as this one goes over... Wait, that's wrong. So... Ah, I'm confused. Okay, this is the thing that's supposed to be happening. God damn it. Okay. Okay, so as this... Yeah, okay, okay, yep. So I want this, the arrow and the column coloring in, I want that to be happening at the same time. I think I'm gonna put some markers in this timeline because this scrolling is making it a little difficult to understand what is happening. So... So at this point, this happens and that happens. So that happens at the same time. And then when this arrow happens, that happens. And then the circle should happen at the same time, I think. Yeah, because at this stage, this happens at the same time. No. I'm losing the plot a little bit. I'm trying to figure out in what order I did it the first time around, and I'm not sure. So this and this should be happening at the same time. This and this should be happening at the same time. Should it though? Okay. Okay, yeah, no, I think that's good. And then as this one comes in, so I think what I can do, I can just do this. I'm gonna call the end of all of these. Why are they disappearing when I do that? I guess they don't have an end marker yet. Oh, they don't have that yet. Okay, so that means I have to copy this onto all of them. Okay, something's not... I think I need to copy the trim path. But it's not pasting the trim path. Why? Oh. Oh, I haven't created a... Oh, I see. It's not a shape yet. Okay. That's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push it here. I'm just going to place it here and then maybe rotate it a little bit so it doesn't look exactly the same as the other one. I think that was my intention originally. Let's go -20. Okay, good. And then I can get rid of 3, rename this to 3. And then then we should see. Okay, great, great, great. Now it's working. Do let me know if there are any dropped frames, okay? I think I may have moved the camera again a little bit. Just move that back. It's really just the tiniest movement. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Okay. So so wait, where is the arrow? Okay, so this is the next arrow. And at the same time, we need to have this column light up. So I'm going to create a duplicate of that column. I'm just gonna crop it at this point. And, oh no. And I'm going to add that. I hope there was no fill color before. And then number. Okay, great. Okay, that disappears. I'm going to just add a keyframe. No. No, that's fine. I'm just gonna add the keyframes to this that I copied already. And so as that arrow comes in, so, oh yeah, right. I forgot to check what number is supposed to be. 18. Okay, so this is 18. And it's like doo-doo-doo. And now I need, okay, the circle is here, and I also need the item to color in, and it's this item. Okay, so P B. Excellent. Okay. Now we've got the next arrow, and it's this one. And I want this here. No, actually, you know what? Going to just copy the whole trim paths in the hopes it's going to do the right thing. Nope, I still need to turn the group around. And that's the wrong group. Actually, I think I want to turn around both of them. Yeah. So it's like that. At the same time, that column, this column is going to color itself in. What have I done? Okay. Now I want to add the fill and the number of items. It's 9, so this should be 9. Oh no, I've rotated it. Oh no. I don't want to do that. Okay. Oh, wait, I want this, I think, to be sequentially, right? The trim path should be not simultaneously, but sequentially. And as this arrives there, we need another... I think it's the first one is the closest to this one. So you... And that's number 4. And what else do I need? I think I need this to also happen. And then we're doing that. When is this animation supposed to finish? I keep forgetting. Okay, oh god, where are we? So it's supposed to finish at this point. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add a duration to this so that I can drag it out, whoops, drag it out to this point. Then I'll know. Okay. All right. So it's like this. And then we have the next one happening. So at the end of this circle, we have a new arrow. And I'm gonna grab this trim path. As always, this needs to be the other way around. And at the same time, I need this column to light up. We need this fill. And we need this number of items, which needs to be 9 in the end. Okay. Oh, again, it apparently does not keep this. Oh, but it did keep that, but it still looks like they are animating simultaneously. What's going on? Do I have 2 trim paths? No, it's individually. Oh, right. The arrowhead is first. It's animating first. That's why it looks weird. Okay, so I need to check. That's not happening here. And this one is simultaneously instead of sequentially or individually. Okay. Now we've got... Okay, and when this is finished... Oh, yep, then this one needs to come on. And this circle needs to happen now. And I think I can just duplicate the circle, put it over here, and just rotate it a little bit. Yeah, sure, why not? And this is number 5. At the end of this, we need another arrow, which is the last one. No, there should be another arrow. Oh, no, we're missing an arrow. Okay. I guess I need to add another arrow. Okay, that's fine. So I need this trim path. Okay, we want 14 here. And I want this. And the circle as well. And this one can be this one. And maybe we do need to like spread them out a little bit because we have still double the amount of time until we're there. But I think Andy is taking some breaths here, so I can probably just cut those out and make this a little shorter here. So we can also listen to that, see if it needs that break there. I'll turn the desktop audio on.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system.
I could remove this breath. I don't know if I want to though, because it sounds nice and natural. Let's see what it Let's see what it's like when I cut this off.
As an attacker moves from system.
Oh, that was the wrong breath. Okay, it doesn't matter.
And repetition as an attacker moves from system to system.
It was actually this breath that I wanted to take out, but I can take out both breaths. Okay, let's see what that sounds like.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system.
Okay, we saved ourselves 2 seconds. It's quite a long time for this type of animation, so that's great. Let's save that. And yeah, let's carry on. I still will probably need to spread them out just a little bit more, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. So at this stage, I guess we need another arrow. Yeah, because we're missing an arrow, so I could duplicate this one. And maybe we'll flip it. Flip horizontally. Oh, that's not exactly what I wanted, but it's also rotated, so we can remove the rotation. I wonder... okay, this one is a little too small. Maybe we won't use that one. Maybe we'll use this one. And put it here, and we'll also flip horizontally and rotate. Ooh, it's a little large. I can make it smaller. Yeah, I'll make the path smaller. I think that's going to be the best approach, so I don't have to add expressions to the line thickness and all of that. So this isn't quite right yet. I think what I'm going to do is adapt this a little. Yep, okay, so as this happens, this column will turn blue. Oh no, I've added... Oh, I see. Okay. I think that's okay if I overwrite this. And I need to change... Where are we? All the way at the top. Okay, and for this one, let's just use this straight looking circle. Oh, wait, I cannot delete it before I position this. Well, I guess I'm positioning it according to the bar, but okay. Yep, so now we have exactly half of this done. So I think what I'll do is I will give this some time before the next arrow. So maybe I'll move this down to here. So that would mean... Oh dear God, moving this to here. Moving... which one? So this is the first one. Going to, it should be 60 frames. Oh, no. Descending. So let's see if that works out. Just going to apply this to all of them. But of course that needs to be in a different position anyway. And yep, these, I think I'm gonna pull these up. No, because that's gonna be confusing. Yep. And now these need to shift as well. So whenever the circle happens, the line, the color of the item turns on. Yeah, I think now it's in a good place. And now we can have a look what that looks like. It's in here. So it's from this point to this point. Actually, I'll do it inside of this. Update markers. I think oh right, yes, I need to update this marker because now it's at 40 frames and 9 seconds. Okay. So this needs to be different. It needs to end here. So this needs to change. That's 100.9. No, whoops, 100, not 10. No. 100.1. More than that. More than that. Nope, 3.5. More than that. Okay, there we go. Alright. Let's see if it's going to pre-render this much because it's like 20 seconds or 18 seconds. Let's see. Okay, I'll let this render and I'll be right back.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack.
Alright, that's started playing before I was ready. Okay, here we go.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system. Rather, an attacker will use
I think that's okay.
these techniques in
There's a
order
bit
to
of
achieve
a
their
long
objective.
wait time.
The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker...
And there was one of the arrows didn't animate in the correct order. I think it was the second one. Yeah, the arrowhead plays before the body, so that needs to be switched. And I think the timing's good as well. Just as he says, although there is a fair bit of jumping around, we are actually jumping back in the framework. So I think that's great. Now, the next step is to actually animate the little character. Because we have the character, and I don't know if the character's here or... Should be a little character, and I think I may have turned him off. Yeah, it's this guy. So this little guy should be starting here, and he comes in. And the timing is already perfect on this. I really like that.
Knowledge which has been built up over many years. Knowledge which has been built up over...
Okay, so we've got a voiceover down here, which obviously doesn't match the sound in here, so maybe I'll just grab this. And these are all guide layers, so I'll just put it at the bottom here. So these won't render once, yeah. This needs to adapt. This audio won't render. I'll actually have the audio in the main composition, not in the scene comps, but just for animation's sake, this is much easier to animate when I can hear the sound in here in playback, but I've turned them into guide layers so they won't end up rendering. So that's quite good.
An attacker will use a combination of...
Yeah, so I'd have to now again pre-render that. So I won't do that. Actually, what I would like to see is just the timing of this little character together with the animation of the arrows and everything.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective.
Let's see.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective.
And when he's not doing anything, like at this stage, what I could do is have his like eye twitch. So actually, when he's going there, he can like look at that. I don't have my Motion 3 open here, so I'll just open that. And I want to use an easy ease, so let's have a look.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of...
I think the eye actually has to move a little bit as well, so... let's add a position keyframe, and let's add a latency to this. And the eye will move up there. Let's see if that's too extreme, but yeah. And then maybe 5 frames. And I will clone these and I will reverse them. Let's see.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques.
No, that's too slow. Okay. So maybe this needs to be on 10 frames instead. It's to be quite quick. Let's see that again. Oops. The delay is too much here. Maybe just 1. Oh, actually, it needs to be the other way around. Yeah, this way.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve. Rather, an attacker will use a combination.
I think this needs to happen slightly earlier as well.
An attacker will use a combination of these techniques. An attacker will.
And then he like checks. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? And I want to clone those. And reverse them. And then I don't need this.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these. Rather, an attacker.
Actually, no, that's probably in the right position, yeah. Okay, let's look at that again.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective.
I love the shifty eye, like, did you see that? Did you see what I was showing you? Yeah, that's quite cute, actually.
An attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. Rather.
And actually, maybe I also want this to have a blink. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a set matte to this, and I need both of these to have the continuously rasterize on, And I want the set mat to be the eye, and that way I can add a scale and a blink to this. Yep, so I'm going to separate the dimensions, and it's like a very short amount, so I'm gonna blink. Oh no, but that squishes, of course. The iris is linked to the eye, so in that case I need to change this. Okay, I'm gonna copy these keyframes. I'm going to get a null. Going to parent this to the body. I think it's parented to the body. And this is going to be the eye control. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to paste the layers to this, and that will then also be part of the eye control. And then I can do the scaling the way I planned them to do. Planned to do them. And then I'll squish this because now it doesn't squish anymore. And I want it to not completely close, but maybe like this, and I'll just do like an easy ease. Maybe the one in the center is going to be continuous Bezier, and let's have a look.
Attacker will use a combination of these techniques. Attacker will use a combination of these. Attacker will use a combination of these techniques. Attacker will use a combination. Attacker will use a combination. Attacker will use a
I don't love it. I think the blink needs to be faster. I always make it far longer than it needs to be.
Attacker will use a
yeah, like you can barely see it, and I think it needs to stretch a little bit. So let's put this to 103.
An attacker will use a combination of these techniques in. An attacker will use a combination.
And then we'll blink it at this point as well.
An attacker will use a combination of these techniques. An attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. An attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of. Objective. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their.
Maybe the blink here is too soon. Maybe I'll move this over here.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective.
Alright, I love that. The character is so cute. The next thing that I would need to... Sorry, I keep clapping my hands. I get very excited and then I clap my hands. What the next step would be to animate the character in accordance to the movement of the framework. I keep forgetting what the name for this is. It's the framework. and this sort of battle plan. So I want the character to move back and forth and always point at the item that appears the way it does for the first two. And I think that's going to be a job for the next live stream. I'm super happy with how this turned out, and I would be able to mess about with this character for hours. Character animation is something that takes forever, because if a character, or in order for a character to look good, you really need to add a lot of these details. Like, I don't know if you noticed that, but there's the blink, there's the moving of the iris, there's the slight bounce of the hat when the character moves, there's a slight rotation. So far I haven't moved the second arm, it's looking a little stiff, so that's really something I would also want to, like, you know, things move when you move them, so this arm needs to have a little bit of a bounce when the character moves forward as well. So all of these little details and getting the timing right and getting it to look cute and bouncy, because I think that's appropriate for this character, it does take a lot of time, and I think people underestimate it. So this is what we've just animated, this like eye thing. It's only 2 seconds of animation. And we've invested a good, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes. I didn't look at the time, but, you know, a good chunk of time. So if you do want to get into character animation, or you are a junior and need to quote a client for character animation, do consider that in order for the character animation to look nice, it takes some time, and it takes not just animating the character from position to position, but also add those details, add those secondary movements, to really make the character come alive. So that's something to consider if you need to estimate a time or a duration for a project or for a character animation. Yeah, I think that's a good effort. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. We did manage to stream in the end, even though on some of my social media platforms I was saying we're not going to stream today. So for those of you who didn't make it for the live stream, I hope you'll make it for the replay. You can watch all replays of the streams on my YouTube channel, including this one. It will be immediately available as soon as the stream ends. And since I don't think we had any major issues, the lag is getting a little bit high right now, but I think it hasn't been too bad. So hopefully you can just watch the stream as is on the YouTube channel. If you are experiencing any issues, do leave a comment, and then I can just upload a new file for the stream. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you'd like to support me, give me a subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with as many people as possible. I am still a pretty small channel, so if you'd like more people to come to the community, do share the videos. And if you would like to support me monetarily, since I'm doing this for free on YouTube and Twitch, you can become a patron. I have a Patreon, I also have a Ko-fi and a Buy Me a Coffee if you would just like to give me a one-off donation. And also thank you to my patrons that are currently supporting me. You are awesome and you're making this happen. And I hope to see you next time. The next stream will be on Friday, and we're going to do some analog sketching in my sketchbook. So not digital, analog this time. And the next animation collab, where we'll continue this animation that you saw today, is going to happen next Tuesday. Until then, I hope you have a good one. Bye!